king, you know it. King already, you know it. Top everything, you know it. King already, you know it. My body, soul, got a king body. Body gon' shine, bling, bling body. Calling a shots, ring, ring body.
Hola, happy Sunday to all of you. Now this song is a powerful, empowering song. So Shatta Wale, big ups to you and Beyonce for this collaboration. You've made Ghana and Africa absolutely proud. Again, it's such a pleasure to be with you once again this Sunday afternoon. I hope that your week has been positive. I hope that you've been inspired. I hope that you did not allow the stress factor to get the best of you, because here at Today's Woman, we try to bring you inspirational stories to uplift you, to motivate you, and to give you something to start your day. And on that note, let's take a look at the inspiration that we have for today. Don't go anywhere, be right back.
Greatness is not measured by what a man or woman accomplishes, but by the opposition he or she has overcome to reach his goals. Dorothy Height.
Hola, welcome back, and thank you once again for spending this time with me on this Sunday beautiful afternoon. I think that most of you have seen the inspirational quote for the day, and if you haven't, let me just read it out for you. And it says, greatness is not measured by what a man or a woman accomplishes, but by the opposition he or she has overcome to reach his or her goals. Now, this is by Dorothy Height, and Dorothy Height was an American civil rights and women's rights activist. She focused on issues of African American women, including employment, literacy, and voter awareness. Now, I think that, like I always try to use myself as a reference point. If you allow hurdles and obstacles and objection and things that may be stumbling blocks along your path of growth and journey, you'll always be stagnant. You'll never be able to move past your own comfort zone. So like she says, don't allow things to be your deterrent. Push through, saw through. Just keep on pushing, because at some point you will break through. I say that all the time. Break down to break through. Now, lots of us know that we're not in normal times. The whole world has been shook by this pandemic, and so we must be mindful of the protocols that are given to us by authorities, and especially from GTP, that says to you, please do wear your mask, wash your hands under running water. If you do not have means of running water, please do use a sanitizer. Eat well and rest well, and make sure that you boost your immune system. Rest as much as you can, and please follow all the protocols. Again, a big thank you to Love 75 for this beautiful decor and set, and obviously to all of my glam team. We'll be right back after this break, so please don't go anywhere. Again, I have a special message from GTP, and it reads, your life matters, so please do take care of yourself. Wash your hands with soap under running water, and if you don't have access to running water, please do use a sanitizer. Wear your nose mask wherever you go, whenever you go out, and please do eat well and rest well to boost your immune system. And please follow all the safety protocols by GTP. Still timeless. Now, on the Today's Woman show, we try to bring you stories of women who are making a difference in their area of expertise, and who also kind of are reference points for some of us who have probably never ventured into that area. So let's take a look at the woman on the move, Elizabeth Okoro, Mind Snacks. We'll be right back.
Mind Snacks is a healthy food company. We currently produce granola. We believe in wholesome, natural food, just as nature intended. So we don't believe in adding additives and preservatives to our food. I started Mind Snacks in 2016. At the time, I was working in an infrastructure company as a project manager. I was tired of working in the company, and I wanted to do my own thing. So I quit without a backup plan. I didn't have a job lined up. I didn't have a plan, basically. And I was at home, and what do you do when you're home? You sleep, you eat, and my parents were a bit concerned, but I persevered, and I wanted to do something that fed my passion, and I didn't want to just start the next available job. So anybody who knows me knows how much of a foodie I am. I love food, and my whole life revolves around eating. And checking out what the next thing I'm going to cook. And I've always made granola. Ever since I was living in England, I used to make granola, and I used to have friends coming over to tell me, can you make it for me? Can I pay you to make some recipes for me? And I thought, well, if there are people who are willing to pay for it, why not package it and test the market? So I packaged samples, went to a few of the local shops, I went to my local gym, and I gave them the samples, and they gave me a call. And they said, well, let's sit down and discuss pricing. And that's how Mind Snacks was born. And initially, I was using my mom's kitchen, her little oven in her kitchen. And it got to a point where I was doing it all by myself, and I realized that the demand was increasing and I didn't have the capacity to produce to the demand. So the next step was to move out of my mom's kitchen and establish my own little factory and get some people on board to help me to grow the business. So it's been 4 years now, full time, and I'm happy and very proud to say that with my perseverance, we are in most of the major retailers in Accra. I wouldn't say that there's one particular bad day that I can point to, but there are challenges inherently being a woman in business, especially in our environment. I've had situations where you go into a meeting with a major retailer and they don't expect a woman, and sometimes you're not taken seriously because maybe over the phone that they've heard that you're a woman. But those challenges are not very difficult for me to overcome, because I believe that with perseverance, and once they get to meet you and they understand that you know about your business and you won't take no for an answer. We have an attitude of complacency in Ghana, which is kind of endemic in the system, where artisans make a mistake. You have a carpenter that has built you a crooked table, and when you tell him, oh, your table is crooked, you say, oh, it doesn't matter. And for me, I believe in excellence. I believe in, if you're doing something, you need to do it right. Especially if I'm putting my name on something, I need to make sure that it represents who I am as a woman, as a Ghanaian, as an African. What makes me cry is when I'm hungry. I am not a nice hungry person at all. I enjoy going out to eat. I enjoy making my own food. I enjoy coming up with new recipes. So truly the way to my heart is food. I can't even deny it. My faith is what has driven me a lot of the time. My favorite Bible verse is Psalm 46 verse 5, which says, God is within her. She will not fall. God will help her at the break of day. So I believe that if you put God first and foremost, anything that you think might be a failure is something that you can use for your good. And another thing I'd like to say is start with what you have. A lot of times we're waiting to have all the money together. We're waiting to have all your business, your location set up. You're waiting to have all your equipment. But guess what? If you say you're going to wait to have everything together, you might not start at all. Start with what you have, and you'll be surprised how quickly things are going to start falling in place.
Elizabeth, I've always admired you from afar, and I'm going to say it on camera that I'm really, really proud of you, and I must say that I'm a fan once again, and of the entire Okoro family. And I also personally use the Mind Snacks. I love alternative breakfast. I like to kind of switch my breakfast routine around from granola, which is really high in fiber, and also lots of protein. So kudos to you, and I think that it's good for you to educate most of us on the alternative meals that we can have to not only feel better, look better, and also for some of us who want to cinch our waist a little bit, go on that weight loss journey with you. Thank you so much, and well done to your packaging as well. It's amazing, and your distribution channels and network. Well done. Now today's guest is a woman who has mastered the area of financial management. She has other hats that she wears. She is a marital coach. She's an ardent Catholic. She's so many things, but I don't want to tell you too much. Take a look at her profile before we have her on the show.
Our guest is versatile, professional with high entrepreneurial drive, who has worked more than a decade in the banking industry and currently managing one of Ghana's highly valued bank branches. She is a proud old student of Wesley Girls High School. Veronica is a fulcrum, whether for youth coaching, mentorship, grooming, and leadership capacity building, and she believes in posterity building. Madame Veronica Ofosu-Konto on the show.
King already, you know it. Top everything, you know it. King already, you know it. My body so got a king body. Body gon' shine, bling bling body. Calling all the shots, ring body. Crown on your head, got a king body. Don't live the king, you a king, you know it. King already, my baby, you know it. Top everything, you know it. King already, you know it. Shine already, it's time already. The line already, it's time already. Shine already, it's time already. The line already, it's time already.
Try to stop it, Mr. No, no, no.
Left to me alone, I'll probably end up dancing the whole show through. Wow, that was nice.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, Michelle. Great to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you. And I see that, hey, just these small dance moves and I have to catch my breath. It's the excitement to have you on the show.
Right.
Veronica, you are one of the few guests that I've had that has gone all the way, like, you want a groove. You seem like you don't really care where you are. You allow yourself to just express yourself.
Yeah.
Is that who we really have in front of us?
A bit shy, but not too shy.
Really?
I'm not too shy. I love dancing.
You do?
So once I have a hit, and that's it.
It's the best form of expression, I believe, quite frankly.
And the best form of exercise too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm panting over here. So Veronica, I mean, most of us have our standard routines, you know, when we wake up in the morning, and I'm sure you, by all means, your standard step one is your morning devotion, by all means, right?
Yeah.
Aside from that, what is your day like in the morning?
Quite eventful.
Okay.
Sometimes I wonder whether I will make it to work on time.
Okay.
But surprisingly, I do. So I try to wake up early. But before even waking up, I normally plan ahead. So by the time I have woken up, I know exactly what it is for breakfast. So if it's oats, whatever it is, it's already been prepped in a way. Sometimes I just put it all together in the fridge and then I'm on the go. So I do it all quickly. Within 30 minutes, I'm done. Everybody is served.
And you have 4 kids.
Yeah, 4 kids.
What's the age gap between the two?
I've been lucky.
2 or the 3 of them?
I have been lucky.
You have been lucky?
Spaced them out nicely for me.
Why is that?
So I have a 16-year-old, I have a 10-year-old, I have a 7, and then now a 1.5.
Okay.
You know, so now they all
it's a nice gap in between.
Right, all 3 help with the baby.
Yes.
So it's not just on me. They're able to attend to themselves and they help with the baby as well. So I've been lucky in that regard. But it's not been easy.
I can
imagine. Juggling it all up, making sure they're all fine.
So in terms of discipline for work, in terms of, you know, you leave home, you've got the other children that are helping with the younger ones, kind of, you know, help with the household, domestic chores. Do you sort of go straight to the office as a branch manager, or do you go to your fashion house? Which of the two do you
I go straight to the office.
Okay, so you're not doing like a shift system with the bank?
I go straight to the office. Normally I try to do Saturday, Sunday for my personal stuff. So Saturday evening I just put something together in my shop, but I don't mix the two. So straight to the office.
What is your real role as a branch manager? And how does that conflict with your counterparts, your male counterparts?
It doesn't conflict.
It doesn't?
See, we have well-defined roles. So once it's established that you are the head of the branch, you know you're the head of sales, you drive sales, and then you ensure that in terms of operations, everything is seamless. So even though I have somebody who handles operations, I equally have to oversee that operations is well handled, and then I have to drive sales. That is not conflicting. I have a couple of males in my team, but they are very, very helpful. And I have a way of dealing with people. I
was about to say, maybe it's the way of dealing with them as well, because some of us women have this authoritative, you know, commando type of demeanor. Okay, so, you know, it's my say, it's or no other way. Is that what you think kind of
that is
creates
my
that harmonious
personal approach?
Okay.
My personal approach is teamwork, and I flourish in teams. Okay. So I cannot do without my team.
Now, as a corporate person, there are incidents where there's conflict conflict resolution comes into play. There's difference of opinion, you know, and then there's all sorts of other things that come into the whole mix of the corporate world. And you've been there for quite 16 years in the industry. I mean, you kind of have, I'm sure, witnessed or encountered some bad experience. Can you tell us what kind of experience you have had on the field, on the job as a branch manager?
Right. So what I have experienced personally is more like employee conflicts.
Okay. Amongst themselves?
Yes.
Okay.
So it doesn't create that workplace harmony.
Okay.
So what I've done over time is every now and then I speak to them about workplace harmony. The fact that we don't have to be friends to work together. The fact that we are here for a while because, you know, we start early, we close late.
Yes.
Sometimes 10 to 12 hours. So if you're not happy at work, where else can you be happy? So for me, I don't see the members of my team as just colleagues. I see them as brothers and sisters. So every now and then, if I know your local name, some name in the box, I'll refer to you. So I have pet names for a couple of them. We laugh together. We just try to make work fun.
Okay.
Because the work is that, you know, hectic, and if you don't combine it well with good interpersonal relationships, you won't be happy.
You seem all put together. You seem like, you know, you have everything covered. You know, a family tick, husband tick, marriage tick, work tick. No. This is today's woman. Today's woman has issues that we want our viewers to know about, that we all have these same problems. When was the last time that you said to yourself, that's it, I'm throwing in the towel, I can't handle these people in the office, I'm done? Tell me one incident and what made you overturn your decision.
I'm done?
Yes, you're done. I mean, do you know how many times I've said I'm done? When did you ever feel like, okay, baby, what's your husband's name?
Felix.
Felix.
Right.
Bring
yeah,
to
he
me.
says Felix.
Marie,
yeah.
I'm done.
Right.
Dinner. I'm finished. No, seriously.
Right.
Something myself.
Sometime last year.
What happened?
I got so frustrated.
You got frustrated?
I got so frustrated to the extent that, for me, I see myself as here.
Yeah.
I want to always make the figures. I want to churn out the figures. So when it's not happening that way, sometimes it gets to me. So I go home one day and I told my husband, I think this one I must be preparing to exit.
Your exit plan.
He looked at me. He has a way of talking to me. He took a good look at me and said, well, you know, before you think about exiting, can I see your cash flows from your personal stuff?
Smart man.
And then I said, oh, but why cash flow? I said, I want to see your cash flows.
That's right.
If I see the cash flows,
that's the reality check right there. So the reality is that if you give up the job, the money will stop.
Exactly. Sometimes our frustration shouldn't determine our moves. We shouldn't act out of frustration.
So Felix is the Mr. Loverman. Mr. Loverman.
So supportive.
That's amazing. Tell us a bit more about Felix.
I doubt whether I would be where I am today without his support.
Okay.
He's been like an uncle, you know. I have heard of instances, and because of my other hats as a marriage counselor, I hear of instances where some men are even jealous of the progress of their women.
Yes.
But he is not like that. He pushes me.
Okay.
He affirms me, say, hey, girl, go for it. So I guess I may not have come this far without his support. He really supports. Most times he's home before me. He takes care of the children, makes sure they're fine. Homework is done. Few things sorted on my behalf. He's today's woman. Yes.
Because I feel like a lot of men in this new generation have come to understand the gender equality and the balance that you have to create at home. So you've been very, very blessed, not even lucky.
Extremely.
You make it sound like everything is so rosy at home. Is it because you're a marriage counselor that you've learned how to create this harmonious, seamless, beautiful love life at home? Tell me.
How I even ended up in marriage counseling.
How did you?
It was Felix.
Hey, Felix!
Let me tell you something.
Felix!
Every now and then issues come up with his friends and all that, and I'll be offering pieces of advice here and there. And one friend actually told him, your wife should be a marriage counselor.
Okay.
And he told me, I was like, no, we are just sharing experiences.
So, now all the questions of marriage are flooding into my brain at the moment.
Hold on.
Oh, she says, hold on.
Hold on.
I'm holding on.
So, you know, with this story,
Yes.
there was a time where our parish priest called him and says, Felix, we want people to join for us it's a school.
Yes.
It's a marriage school. And you're schooled for 6 months, and then you go through one-on-one before you go to the next step of getting married.
Okay.
Even if you married before,
Yes.
that is the traditional marriage. You do that before you have your white wedding.
Okay.
Yeah, we insist on that. So the parish priest calls him up and he says, oh, Father, oh, Israel, she does it so well. So by the time he called me, I was like, oh, Felix,
So at that point, you hadn't certified.
No, I hadn't certified.
You know.
This is about 5 years ago.
Okay, so you say what is to become a marriage coach? Is there some kind of special school you have to go to?
Right. So for us as Catholics, they took us through
Oh,
training.
okay. So the Catholics,
Right,
the Catholic,
yes.
okay,
we
church
had
does that.
training,
Okay.
For 3 different weeks.
Okay.
But these were all on weekends. So
Okay.
because we are all grown-ups with family and all
Yes.
that. So we had school for 3 weeks.
Okay.
But 3 different weeks, not
Okay.
continuously
That's
on
fine.
weekends. And they certified us. But before that, our parish priest took us through training. He got a psychologist, a clinical psychologist, and a marriage coach to also come in and train us. So by the time all this was done and I started, I was like, looks like I'm discovering myself. It looks like this
was
is
your
me.
calling.
Right. I didn't even know that.
Okay.
I was doing it just for doing sake, but I didn't know I could do it so well. So over time, I even enrolled in a PhD course just to give me more impetus, if I should put it that way. Yeah.
So marriage counseling is such a broad topic, and because all of us have so many different issues in our relationships. First of all, there's one major issue, which is infidelity and forgiveness after your spouse or your partner has been unfaithful to you. Then there is lack of communication, then there's money issues, and there's childbearing. What is the core underlying issue apart from all of these things that different couples go through? What's to you the underlying issue in marriages that don't really work?
Right. Expectations. Michelle, expectations hurt. So here you are on your birthday, you're expecting your husband to get you this mug. And you're there and he brings you this pillow. Would you appreciate it? Frankly, would you appreciate?
That's a hard one.
You wouldn't. Because
it's a hard one.
You already formed an expectation of having this mug. But
Veronica, if my expectation is, because this is the man that I've known for almost 4 years of my dating, courting life, he knows me, he knows my likes and my dislikes. I'm just playing the devil's advocate.
Right.
Is it so bad to expect something that he should know I would desire? Because he should know me in and out.
Right. He should know you should desire. But what about him? What does he want for you? What does he even want to see you wear?
But isn't that through some form of communication that we should have?
But you see, the moment we have huge expectations of the man or the woman, he must do this, she must do that, she must do that, she must be like this, she must be on the floor for me to walk on, then it kind of forms an opinion in your head. So anytime that doesn't happen,
there's a disconnect.
And you're wondering, why did I get married? Is this the person I wanted to really marry? You ask yourself questions. But I tell my people that, instead of having huge expectations of each other, write down whatever you expect. And flip the
roles
coin of
around.
expectation.
Yes.
When you flip that coin, those expectations will become your to-do list.
Okay.
Whatever
for yourself.
It is, you see,
are you saying for yourself?
Yes, you're expecting him to do.
Okay.
So do it and elicit some response from him or her.
Okay.
It works beautifully.
But expectations when it comes to personal interpersonal understanding, that I think I think every woman should expect the mug and not the cushion. What I'm saying basically is that, I mean, my man should know me. He should know that, you know, I'm in my cycle right now. Don't come and ask me questions that will trigger me. Don't hit those buttons, number one. You know that I like to eat wachi. I don't want to eat a jollof rice on Monday. I want to eat wachi on Saturday.
Hey, Michelle.
But he should know that about me.
Real?
Very real.
Are you saying that every Monday you have wachi?
No, but I'm saying that if my man knows me well enough, he should talk to me, baby, what do you want to eat today? Felix, don't you ask her what she wants to eat on Saturday and Sunday? Doesn't Felix ask you?
He does.
Yeah,
But
so
you see,
is that a bad expectation to have?
No, it's not a bad expectation.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is that if you format it,
yes,
just like you said, wachi on Mondays,
yes,
and all that.
Yes.
And probably that day you don't even feel for it, and the person gets you wachi. But he elicit the right response from you. No,
Veronica, we're going to have a marriage council discussion, and right. I want you on this show. I want you back on this show because I totally agree with you. But where I feel that communication and like you said, you advise most of your couples to have one fundamental thing. Don't over expect, which I totally agree with you. Don't over expect things that are unrealistic.
Building mansions in
Oh,
the air.
come on. If the man earns 2,000, you want him to go and buy you a Range Rover, Evoque, or whatever type of car it may be,
that one
you're out of order. I totally agree with you. But to expect something that he knows I like, if he can afford it, it's fine, right?
It's fine. But still manage it. He can afford, but maybe at that material point in time,
cannot, yes.
He may not be able to. And that is where managing comes in.
So tell us the 4 things that you've coached them with before we actually wrap up.
It's quite a lot, but what I normally focus on, conflict resolution,
okay,
third parties. You have to understand the person's love language. And you see, I may be doing everything.
Say that again.
The person's love language is really critical.
That's a very important factor, yes.
Some of us doing everything,
yes.
But because I'm not hitting on the language that you speak.
So what is the love language for some of us that don't, you know, are new to this terminology?
Right. So, Michelle, I may speak Ewe, but you are speaking Fanti to me. I don't understand Fanti. I'm Ewe, and you are speaking Fanti to me. Are we communicating?
Yes.
Is it the same language? But if I know you speak Ewe, or you know I speak Ewe and you speak Ewe to me, beautiful, we are communicating. So with love languages, we try to speak the person's love language. And basically, we say affirmation, words of affirmation. We're saying that gift giving. We're saying that quality time. We're saying that act of service. All these go in to form something beautiful. And everybody has
a love language.
A love language. Sometimes it overlaps.
But that's also, there are several in one, isn't it?
Yes, it overlaps.
Words of affirmation, gifts, quality time. I know mine, by the way.
Yes, so
okay,
it overlaps. It overlaps.
Yes.
And
2 more things to look out for that you advise they should look out for in a good and have a lasting, healthy marriage.
Conflict resolution.
Okay. Love language knowledge.
Love language knowledge. And these are all things that we teach in our marriage school.
Yes.
Communication, and then the managing of expectations.
A lot of people think that maybe it's just love. Love is not enough. I mean, you can love someone, but you have to understand that for longevity, the things that you've mentioned.
Exactly.
So just to recap again, you've mentioned that communication is key. Knowing your partner's love language. Knowing the fact that, you mentioned something else?
Conflict resolution as well as third parties intrusion.
Okay.
You know, sometimes we live our lives in such a way that other people are dictating so much
into the relationship. But it's our community. We're like that. We bring in family members to resolve the issues.
Between the 2 of you and God. All this is taught. So the moment you allow in a third party, you don't know the real intentions of that person. You don't know the real intentions of that person.
Veronica.
Maybe your mother, maybe your father, but it might be some other intention, for which reason you must sit back as a couple and ensure that whatever it is, you're dealing with yourselves.
It's about relating to each other. Make sure that you keep it within the confines of your own private space and have that dialogue. and talk it out. It may be painful, but talk it out. We have to go on a quick commercial break. When we come back, let's see a bit more about Veronica and see what she has to show us on the screen. Don't go anywhere. This is Today's Woman. We'll be right back.
Our host, stylishly glammed up by First Choice Beauty, CVL Beauty,
Apricot,
Pistis Ghana.
Hola, welcome back. Now, I'm sure most of you have learned a lot throughout this conversation that I've had with Veronica, because we've not just spoken about financial management, we've spoken about marriage. You know, the key things that you need to know as a couple during your courting and even your existing marital life. You know, the 4 things that you need to bear in mind. Number 1 is conflict resolution. Number 2 is knowing your partner's love language. Number 3 is communication. And number 4 is
Be wary of third parties.
and please try as much as possible not to bring in third parties into the mix of your relationship. It's one of the deterrents in the entire health and stability of your marriage. But before we let Veronica leave us today, sadly, I'd like us to get her to talk to us about the difference between savings and an investment. Some of us get those two a little mixed up because they sound almost the same. But tell us, Veronica, what is the difference between saving and investing?
Right, so Michelle, you know, Dr. Kwejuyabe,
Yes.
he said one thing. He said that if you educate a man, you educate a person. But if you educate a woman, you educate a whole nation.
Yes.
I dare say that if you teach a woman financial independence,
Yes.
she can change the world.
I totally
So
agree
here
with
we
you.
go.
Tell me.
Savings
Yes.
is for short term.
Okay.
Anything between 3 to 5 years that you will constantly be drawing on
Yes.
to buy a car and all that is savings.
Okay.
So you put it away, but the yields are minimal
Okay.
compared to investments.
Okay.
So they have lower rates and normally of a shorter duration.
When you say shorter duration, how short is that? Like,
That is
6 months?
dependent on what you intend to draw for.
Okay, okay.
So that is why that money doesn't have to be locked up.
Okay.
But a lot of times women will confuse and say, oh, this is good. And then they'll push money into it. It might be an investment instrument.
Okay.
Your money is locked up and you don't know what to do.
Okay,
So you can compartmentalize your
expenditure.
and compartmentalize your investments as well.
Okay.
So you have your savings and then you have your investments.
Okay.
And then even beyond that, or within investments, you can have different kind of portfolios.
Okay.
So it's not just one bulk investment.
Okay.
But you may have a portfolio for your kids' education.
Ah, that's very
You may
important.
have something for retirement planning. You may have something towards the purchase of a house. So all these would be compartments under your major
Investment umbrella.
You can even have funeral planning.
So Veronica, a lot of our viewers, have you here. We're very privileged to have you today because you have a lot of knowledge in the financial sector, especially when it comes to financial planning. And you did say that, a woman is the best stewardess when it comes to financial management.
Right.
And to gain financial independence, it's best to kind of start from the inception.
Exactly.
So what are the 2 things that you can advise our viewers should do
I will
towards
go with time and consistency.
time and consistency?
Right.
Okay.
Why do I say time and consistency? For every investment or for even our savings, you start early and you reap the benefits.
Okay.
Don't start late. So whichever investment instrument you're going for, start early. Time is of essence. Start early and ensure that you're here today, you want to be here tomorrow. Have a target.
Okay.
Have a financial goal and work towards it. So you work it out depending on your salary or your income or your disposable income.
Okay.
You work it out and you put it aside, as in the compartmentalization I
Yes,
spoke about.
yes.
So this is for the kids' education. This is for my retirement. This is for the mortgage.
Okay.
This is for funeral. It's important, Michelle.
I think it's very important, and we can't stress it enough that to be the best planner of the future, which sometimes might be difficult, is best to start Today. Now. Let's touch a bit more on the power of compounding. Tell us a bit more about this.
Right. So the power of compounding. I would like to quote John Rockefeller.
Okay.
He started working as a clerk.
Okay.
Earning $3.7 per week.
Okay.
From this amount, he gave half to his church and then saved 50 cents. So the rest will be his expenditure.
Okay.
It wasn't much, but it was a beginning.
Okay.
So that is where we all have to start from. If it means you're putting away one CD, it's not much, but it's the beginning.
It makes a difference.
That is the time
10 years.
and the consistency.
Yes.
So by the time he was 50, he was perhaps the richest man in the world at the time. This is a quote from Brian Tracy, Laws of Business Success.
Okay.
You know, so it's not about how much you have right now, but how determined you are to start that savings, that investment, and giving yourself time.
Okay.
There is no quick cut to making money.
That's so true.
There is no quick cut. And it's unfortunate that these days, a lot of people are involved in all sorts of schemes. Don't be lured by just interest. Because you didn't start early, you'll be lured by interest. Don't be lured by interest. Rather be afraid of huge interest.
Okay.
You know, and all these get-rich schemes, don't be lured by them.
Okay.
But rather start early and rather focus on the power of compound interest.
Okay.
So that is somebody who gave himself a target of 1 million.
Okay. I like the fact that he gave himself a target and then he put in the stepping stones to get
that
there.
Financial goal. So your target is 1 million. So assuming you start today, daily savings, monthly, quarterly, and then the number of years it will take you to make the 1 million. So let's jump from 5 cities.
Yes.
So 5 cities a day, by every quarter you would have contributed or saved 450 cities. And that is for your investment, not savings. You're not tapping into that money.
Okay.
That money is compounding interest at, say, a rate of 22%.
Okay.
So in 23 years, so assuming, Michelle, you have a young daughter or a baby, assuming I start something for my baby and every quarter I'm able to put away 450 CDs for her, it means by the time she's 23, give or take, this is what she would have to her name.
It is amazing to see it in actual display because I think that's what gives you the perspective. I think sometimes when we say, oh, let's just put 5 CDs aside, you don't really see the impact.
Money,
So I think this should tell you that 5 CDs a day over a number of years, and that's 23 years, you're making 1.1 million plus. So, I mean, it's worth the investment and it's worth the time. So if you haven't started, please, Sunday service is now 2 hours. So you can save part of that tight money and please put it aside for your children, for yourself, for your health, for any unforeseen incidents in life. It's very important that you do that. So let's jump straight to 200 CDs, for instance.
So if you can afford to put away 200 CDs a day, that will translate to 80,000 every quarter. And within 7 years, just 7 years, you'll be a millionaire.
Okay, so it seems like the figures here, this is 23 years and this is 7 years. Is it because the value is higher here?
Exactly.
So the interest is higher?
It's compounding interest.
It's compounding
so
interest.
This is 18,000 every quarter. This is 450.
So you're saying...
That is why we said that time and consistency is your best
But what
ally.
about the amount of money that you also invest?
The amount of money can be small. So assuming you can't even afford 5 CD a day and slash to 1.
Yes.
It means that we are dividing all this by 5.
By 5, okay.
And we get there.
But I think that, honestly speaking, on average, if we're using this as a benchmark, you know, I think that if you could start off with 20 CDs, it's realistic, it's not that much, and you spend 20 CDs like that, and like that, and again like that. So 20 CDs a day over 17 years, 17 years goes and comes like that. So that's quite a bit of money that you earn.
So it all depends on your level of comfort and all your disposable income and all, but definitely be disciplined enough to put something away. Be disciplined enough to put something away. You see, interestingly, if you paid 5,000 CDs today, you would think, oh, that money is fine until you pay 10,000.
And I'm telling you, I think that this is the reality check right there. And thank you so much, Veronica, for giving us this revelation, you know, because sometimes I always say that it's best to see it to believe it. Not for everything, because with God, you have to feel God and still have faith and believe Him. But before we actually end the show, I'd like to say a big thank you, Veronica, for taking the time to be with us here today. I know that Felix is dying to see you at home, and the entire family, and again to your entire staff that you have been so warm up, so honest about. We thank you so very much for your marriage counseling tips and for your time. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. And I hope I've been able to at least impact some knowledge.
You definitely have. And the next time I call you on, I think you have to give us some advice as to how we can manage infidelity in our relationships, because I think that sometimes just throwing away love, it's a debatable. Let's take a quick break, because at this point I'd like to take us on the Trendy Woman. Let's find out what hairstyles to have. Maybe a pixie for a round face, maybe a longer haircut for your face structure. Let's take a look at Trendy Woman C and find out what looks good on the type of face that you have.
To keep trendy, you need the best hairstyles to flatter your face shape. Long face. It's best to break up the elongation with architectural lines, so bangs and blunt bobs are great. One thing to keep in mind with these type of styles is maintenance. However, once the focal point starts to fall, it can pull the face down, so regular bang dustings and end trimmings are necessary. Round face. Layers of any kind should be a round face's go-to cut. This type of styling gives off the illusion of a softer, more oval face shape, and wherever the face holds weight, it's always a good idea to soften that area. Square face. Graduated lobes that fall slightly beneath the jawline also work really well with a square face, since they complement the natural bone structure, and the varying length in layers creates a lot of movement. Oval face. Most women are far more unique and individual than their basic face shape. But if you happen to have an oval face shape, it's likely that you don't need to use any architectural illusions. You have the most versatile shape.
Welcome back, and I'm sure you've learned quite a bit today. It's been packed full of information. It was a mixture of love and finance and how to keep the man in your life happy and vice versa. But I'm sure you must have learned quite a bit about the hairstyles that you should be wearing. Some of us, we just wear almost about anything. Take a look, research a bit more, find out what will suit you. There's so many apps online right now that you can use to do a virtual representation of your face. I've come to realize, what do you think of my pixie? Do you like it? Do you like my pixie? Let me know what you think by giving me some comments on my Instagram handle and my Facebook handle. Don't forget, you can also watch this show live streaming on Facebook TV3. Take a look. It's all underneath for more information. Before we go into the next segment, I want to show you a bit more about DIY with fabric by GTP. Let's take a look.
Hi guys, welcome back to DIYs with Akufi Adapts. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made this beautiful flower for my little black cute heel with GTP New Style fabric. The very first thing you do is to spread your fabric on the table. I opted for this fabric because it's very colorful. Cut out about 3 inches from the fabric. Fold the cutout into 2. Pick your thread and needle. Sew a basting stitch across it. Continue sewing your basting stitch across the fabric until you get to the end of it and pull everything together. Pull everything together to create a beautiful flower. After pulling your stitch, sew both ends together. The next step is to take your double-sided tape and paste it on top of your heel. Then place the flour on top of it. Put a little button on top of the flour. It's optional. How cool is this? I hope to see you in the next video, and thanks so much for watching.
Today's Woman is supported by Casa Trasaco,
Samsung,
Chemo Home Limited.
Now is the exciting part, because I said to you in the beginning, I am on a mission to make sure that I cinch, I snatch, and everything else to look my very best. Let's take a look at Home and Wellness, brought to you by First National Bank and FitTrip. And today we talk about CrossFit training. FitTrip coming up next.
Home and Wellness is brought to you by First National Bank and FitTrip.
What is CrossFit? Hello, my name is Hussam Hamdi. I'm the CrossFit Level 2 trainer at 233 CrossFit at FitTrip. CrossFit is constantly varied, high-intensity functional movement for everybody. So it's for amateurs and for elite athletes, and it can be tailored to anybody to suit everyone. We just scale it down to your levels of fitness. CrossFit is broad, so we try to combine all aspects of fitness in one program. So we do weightlifting, we do gymnastics, we do weight training. The good thing about CrossFit is actually it treats chronic illness, which is diabetes, cholesterol, hypertension, and so on. So I have cholesterol and high triglyceride, even though I have been training for the past 7-8 years with normal workouts. After I've been introduced to CrossFit, my cholesterol is gone. That's a really good proof that CrossFit actually works. Proven for elite athletes such as footballers, swimmers, any athletes that are trying to be improving at their health and fitness in their sports. They come and do CrossFit in their off seasons because it's a different type of programming actually. CrossFit actually teaches you how to do your daily movements and to be independent when you are also advancing in your age. For example, lifting a box, which is like lifting your groceries from the shop, climbing up the stairs, standing up. All these type of movements that are being performed on a daily basis, we try to perform them here in a very safe way.
Home and Wellness was brought to you by First National Bank and FitTrip.
You're the king, you a king, you know it. King already, my baby, you know it.
Hey!
Top everything.
I know it's come to an end, but it's been a pleasure to have you here with me, and it's been a pleasure having my guest Veronica, who's given us insight about marriage and the best things to practice in your marriage, whether you're starting off or you're in the marriage, and also the financial display of how much you can earn over a week, a month, years. Take the step today because it starts from now. It's been a pleasure to be your host on Today's Woman. A big thank you to GTP, a big thank you to Loft 75, a big thank you to Casa Trasaco, to First National Bank, to Chemo Homes, and to the entire crew of TV3, and to my production crew, my producer, my makeup, my hair, my costumes, all of you. I love you. Take care.
It's time already. Shine already. It's time already. Shine already. It's time already. Shine already. It's time already.
Shine already, it's time already. The line already, it's time already. Shine already, it's time already. The line already, it's time already. Try to stop it, me say no, no, no. Royalty say don't you, no, no, no. Try to stop it, me say go, 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 go. Bubble up and watch it go, 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 go.
Oh, diamonds on my fist fighting damage. Oh, come and rest your head, take your crown off. Oh, woke up in the phone, need to take it slow.